Good morning. Happy Sabbath. I have some children here. I don't know their names. Raylan, Jocelyn, Harlan. And what's your name back there? What? Elias. Okay, welcome. And there's another one back there. Did you want to come up too? No? Okay. Well, I'm glad to see all of you here this morning. Happy Sabbath. I want to tell you a story about a little girl. Her name was Kim. And Kim had a mean old rooster. Do you know what a rooster is? What's a rooster?
Chicken?
Yes, it's a chicken. That's right. It's a male chicken. And well, I want to tell you, Kim, she loved animals. She already had an animal named Thumper. Can you imagine? What do you think Thumper was? What type of an animal was Thumper? Oh, Elias has it. Elias, right? He said a rabbit. Thumper was a rabbit. And Thumper had big, long, velvety, soft ears. Well, Thumper belonged to Ivy, a neighbor girl, and she just got tired of Thumper, of feeding him and cleaning his cage, so she gave Thumper to Kim. Should we get tired of taking care of our pets if we have one? No, it's our responsibility to care for them. And then there was Hunter. What kind of an animal do you think Hunter was? Hunter liked to catch rats and mice and geckos. What was it?
A cat?
Yes, it was a cat, a big yellow cat. He prowled all night and he slept all day. And then Kim had a pet called Coco. I have a pet named Coco. What do you think Coco was? A what? A fluffy marshmallow? A cat? It went woof, woof, woof. What goes woof? A dog. That's right. Coco was a dog. She came from an animal shelter, and Kim fell in love with her the minute she saw her. Here's a picture of Coco. Coco was a chocolate lab. Right there's the picture of Coco. Yeah. What's this up here? There's the mean old rooster, and there's Coco. Can you see Coco? Right there's Coco. So Kim, she loved animals, and she had 2 guinea pigs. Do you have a guinea pig? No. Or a hamster? No. Yes. You have a hamster? Oh, boy. Well, the guinea pigs, do you know what their names were? Skittles and Bugsby. And then she had a blue parakeet named Ashley, and she had 2 green chameleons. She had a lot of pets, didn't she? She loved her pets. And since she was so close to school, do you know what she did with her pets sometimes? She went to show and tell. She took her pets in for show and tell. Have you ever done that before with your pet? Take them to school for show and tell? But guess what Kim wanted? You saw the picture. What did you see over here? What did she want?
I don't know. Chickens?
Yeah. She wanted some chickens. She wanted baby chickens. And you know what her daddy said? Her daddy said, well, we have a rabbit, we have a cat, a dog, a guinea pig, parakeets, chameleons. Why do we need chickens? We have so many animals. Because they can eat our table scraps and they could lay eggs. Do you like to eat eggs? No, you don't like eggs? You don't like eating eggs? Yeah, sometimes you have baby chickens. So she said, I promise I'll take good care of them. So Dad said, okay. They had an old chicken house out back so they could keep the chickens. So she got 6 tiny baby chicks. And guess where they stayed as soon as she brought them home? In the bathroom. At first, she kept them in a cooler and put a towel in the bottom to keep them warm. And do you know what she did every day faithfully? What do you think she did for the baby chicks every day?
Give them food.
She gave them food and water, yes, and cleaned up after them. And they were the cutest little fuzzballs. But you know what? After 6 weeks happened, they had to go outside because they were getting too big to stay in the house, right? And she would open the cage and they would follow her all over. And so she, every morning, would get the kitchen scraps, fill the container, give them water, and go out to the chicken coop. And each of the chickens would follow her back to the house. And when Kim was finished, the chickens would follow her back to the coop, and she would look for eggs, and the chickens enjoyed eating their table scraps. Well, you know what happens to baby chickens? They grow real big, don't they? And pretty soon, they become teenagers. And one day, she had one chicken named Cherry. Well, Cherry had grown the big red comb on top of its head, and it had some green tail feathers. And then, like there, see that chicken there? Right there's that chicken. That red thing on its head's called a comb. Well, one morning, Dad thought he heard cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo. What was that? Well, the family lived on an island in Hawaii, so they had a lot of wild chickens running around. So Dad said, it just must be a wild rooster. Well, it wasn't long before Cherry's comb grew bigger and bigger and red, and it had more green tail feathers. And one day, Kim went outside to feed the chickens, and guess what Cherry did? He came running after her, flapping his wings and squawking, and he was pecking her. This is the first time that it happened, and Kim was so scared that she dropped the table scraps and ran back to the house. Do any of you have a chicken? Does anybody have chickens? No? Well, soon everyone agreed that Cherry was not a hen, which is a girl chicken. He was a rooster. He was a boy chicken. Well, boy chickens don't lay eggs, do they? So you know what they had to do? They had to change his name to Jerry. But that didn't change his aggressive behavior. He thought he was the boss of the chicken coop. So every time they would come out, he'd go squawk, 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 and flap his wings and run and go peck, 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 and peck them on the hands and legs. Well, there were so many wild chickens, Dad said, we've got to get rid of him. So he drove Jerry down to the end of the island where all the wild chickens were, and he let him out. But Jerry had another idea. Well, do you go to school? Who goes to school? Raise your hand if you go to school. All right. Well, one day they were at school, and the children came to school, and Kim was in the classroom, and guess what they said? Teacher, 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 there's a wild chicken outside, and he lets us pet him, and we can pick him up. He's just like a puppy dog. Kim and her friends ran outside to see, and one look and Kim said, "That's not a wild chicken, that's Jerry." "Jerry? Who's Jerry?" "Oh, you mean your mean old rooster." Well, right then, Jerry strutted up to Kim, and he started begging for attention. And the kids were amazed. She picked up Jerry, and she carried him around, and she patted him, and he just loved being with the kids at school. But guess what he did in school? Something nasty. Ugh, gross. He did. He pooped in the school. And they said, well, he can't be in the school any longer because we can't have the chicken pooping in the school. So there was a boy. His name was Elijah. And Elijah said, "I'll ask my mom if I can take Jerry home because we have 20 chickens at our house." So they took Jerry home, and Jerry was so happy there, and Kim could go visit Jerry anytime she wanted to. Well, have you ever seen any mean kids before? Well, Jerry's no different than a mean kid, is he? When they feel threatened or are trying to protect something, we can become mean. I guess that's why the Bible says that as much as possible, we need to live peaceably with everyone, including our family and friends, especially our brothers and sisters. And in the Bible, do you know God talks about that? God says in Romans chapter 12, verse 18, "If it is possible, as much as depends on you, live peaceably with all men." So we want to be nice to our friends and our brothers and sisters, don't we? Would anyone like to have a prayer today? Okay, let's close our eyes.
Dear Lord, please help us now.